All right, guys, we promised we'd be right back, and we indeed were. So,
Keeping promises.
We are.
One game at a time.
We are ready for game 2 in this best of 3, and I really already like what Cognitive is doing here to try to bring it back. Let's hop over the draft, and I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
I would love to hear it, Gilly, because you know I love the way you think.
Oh,
so far,
thank you.
You're welcome. So far, we see Azmodan and Kerrigan bans. What are you thinking about that, Gilly?
Well, first of all, I really like that we are on a much different battleground. The last one is very big, and they're realizing that the big map did not work for them. So they're instead going for a much, much smaller map. In fact, the smallest one that we have here. So I really like that they have chosen to go for a different approach. They've also chosen to ban the Kerrigan, as she is so incredibly good on this battleground too. And so I think we may even see the possible Zagara, though I do think they'll probably pick Sylvanas here as the first pick. Oh, Tassadar, actually. Interesting.
Well, certainly can help with vision. That's really important on this map. Knowing where teams are and not having to face check those turn-in points for gems, definitely a benefit. I would not be surprised to see Sylvanas as a first pick. Huge benefit on this map, like you mentioned. But I guess Cognitive is really concerned about prioritizing vision, and I don't blame them for that.
Yeah, in addition, Tassadar is a key person in those multiple warrior, those zero warrior compositions, right? Like you have to supplement with having a melee assassin and then the shields that you can get from Tassadar. And so by banning the Kerrigan, taking the Tassadar, they're really trying to figure out what they can do to limit Zeveron's options, force Zeveron into more of a standard composition, which they've done as they've gotten Kael'thas and Jaina. So now Cognitive needs to look at what they can do to limit the front line of Zeveron, as they're going to need to be able to deal with Jaina and Kael'thas.
Yeah, that's a scary combo right there. Those two really like to rain down damage in the form of fire and ice. It's cute. And Cognitive, I wouldn't be surprised if they now go for Sylvanas, but they're also going to need some damage of their own. So, it's going to be a Zeratul. Now, Zeratul, adding to the Protoss Brotherhood here, has the advantage of being very, very sneaky. So again, really playing to this map and thinking about where they can be and whether they will be seen or not seen and what they will see. Because Zeratul, by not being visible, is a tool that you can use to gain visibility for yourself on the map.
Yeah, that's definitely true. It's kind of a mobile vision ward, and I like that they have him because he is somebody who can really effectively deal with squishy people like Jaina and Kael'thas, because he can kind of get in the back line and start wrecking, especially once you pick up that wormhole talent where you can blink in and blink out at level 13. Rounding out their composition will be Johanna here, and I think that's good. That means that Zeveron can't really limit them in tanks. They're also, like I mentioned before, really limiting Zeveron in terms of that front line. I would not be surprised at all to see a warrior band, maybe a Muradin here, and just trying to stop what Zeveron can use for their front line.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. And Zeveron, you know, they prioritize damage, but they definitely can't use just those to accomplish anything on this map. They need the right support and the right tank. So we are going to see the Malfurion ban from Cognitive, and we see the Sylvanas ban already from Zeveron. So what are we going to see here for Zeveron now?
Well, like I mentioned before, they need a strong front line, and they're eventually going to need a support as well. I would not be surprised to go ahead and grab their support, since Cognitive doesn't have one, and Cognitive has already shown to try to be limiting those, and they do. They're going to grab Brightwing, and they're going to grab a new Barak. So, one thing about that Malfurion ban is Malfurion is really good with the tranquility and healing several targets. And so Zeveron have chosen the other person with kind of an aura like that, which is Brightwing. But Brightwing can sometimes have a difficult time with healing a bunch of squishy targets. So we might even see another warrior for Zeveron. But look who we have for Cognitive.
I don't know if you saw it, but my eyes got wide when I saw that because something I haven't seen too much of, but that I really like and want to see used more by pro teams so that I can experience it, is the Abathur Johanna, the Abana Jobather. Jobather. And they're going to finish that off with an Uther. So they're going to have the 1.5 supports. They're going to have Abathur that they can use, I mean, on top of multiple different players to great effect. But they only have Zeratul, who's the really dedicated damage dealer, up against Zeveron, who's got Jaina and Kael'thas, who, it goes without saying, do plenty of damage. So I think that, like you mentioned, Zeveron's going to be very comfortable picking up another tank, and they do. It's going to be Muradin and Anub'arak who are going to be tanking the damage for Zeveron.
Stuns for days from Zeveron with the Muradin and Anub'arak. And they have a polymorph, which is really nice versus that Zeratul. But we have the possibility of Divine Shield with a symbiote hat going down on Zeratul.
Yes.
That makes me, you know what I'm going to say. You know what I'm going to hope for.
What
Hope
is it?
Beyond hope.
What is it, Gilly?
That's Shadow Assault Zeratul is imminent, my friends.
We shall see in this game on Tomb of the Spider Queen. So what you can expect from this map, of course, like Gilly mentioned, it is small, it is dark, there are many places to hide, so there's going to be a lot of movement, even in the early game. We won't see people sticking to lanes or kind of deciding that one lane is their property, maybe like we would have seen on Garden of Terror, where we saw the Vikings hanging out in each lane because it's too far for one hero to run between them. On this one, you might as well be in any lane when you're in one of them. So we're going to see a lot of that, and we're going to see Vision become a hot commodity because these heroes are going to want to get the chance to turn in gems that they pick up all over the map, and they can't do that if somebody is waiting in the smoke of the vents to chop them in the face.
Yeah, Vision is huge on this battleground, and Cognitive definitely have that on lock. They've got Oracle from Tassadar. They've got the mobile vision ward that is Zeratul as well. They've even got the mines from Abathur on top of that too. So they've definitely got it on lock. They could take Clairvoyance from Uther at 7. I don't think they'll do so. They really will need that cleanse versus all of the CC from Zeveron. Zeveron really just have to rely on that scouting drone that they could pick up from Brightwing. Otherwise, it's going to be, we might see some face checking there.
And face checking is a dangerous pastime, especially on this map. I mentioned the gems. They fall from the abdomens of little spiders that will join our traditional minions in each lane. They can be picked up by either team, but once you hold those gems, they become your team's color, and if you drop them, only your team members can pick them up. That said, it's fairly easy for your opponents to deny those, and if they deny them for long enough, no one picks them up, then they will disappear. You've got to turn in 50 of those gems to get your first set of web weavers to spawn in each lane, and then from there the price only goes up. It's supply and demand with the Spider Queen.
It is indeed. She is a greedy queen who needs more and more gems every single time. Requires more spider butts as well.
Spider butt gems.
Agreed. All right.
I'm going to tell my husband he needs to get me a spider butt ring for our anniversary.
Oh, well, let me know how that goes down. Meanwhile, we can introduce these teams. We've got Cognitive in blue once again. Shot playing that Abathur, Sylaw on Johanna, Iacona on Uther, Hospital playing Tassadar, and Glaurung will be that ever-important Zeratul.
And for Zeveron in red, we've got Mad Timmy on Brightwing, Fury will play Muradin, Calthon Luck will be on Jaina this time, Equinox on Anub'arak, and Faye will play Kael'thas.
A lot of heroes looking to head to the mid, as we so often see. Mad Timmy may look like he's behind, but he can always phase shift in at a moment's notice when needed. And it looks like we will see Abathur setting up shop in the top for now.
Yeah, looks like it. And of course, if you're not familiar with Abathur, Abathur is not a hero that you will see much out on the map. He's going to sit back here and do all sorts of things to assist heroes, sending out little locusts, setting little mines, and putting the Abahat, as we call it, or the symbiote, on top of players to add to their damage and abilities.
Yes, he will be helping out in ways, very interesting ways, in lane as well as in team fights with the hat. But let's take a look at some of these talents as we have some heroes in the laning phase. We did get Scouting Drone for Brightwing, so they will be focusing a little bit on vision in that regard. Also, looks like Thunderclap build, at least for now, for Murden, so that's going to be helpful versus those melee assassins, specifically the Zeratul that we do see for Cognitive.
Absolutely, and as you can see, we're seeing that motion between the lanes, a lot of heroes moving between the top and mid lanes actually at this point. We have the two supports hanging out here in the bottom hospital and Mad Timmy, just making sure those lanes stay pushed at least to the middle. Again, the web weavers do spawn to the point where the lane is pushed, so in anticipation of that, these teams are going to be really mindful of how far they allow their lanes to move.
What I'm interested in is whether Brightwing will go ahead and pick up that promote, as I'm pretty sure Tassadar will at level 4, but Brightwing has a lot of people to keep alive, and she may choose instead to go for that protective shield, which will definitely give Tassadar an edge in the laning if he does get that promote. Looking over on the side of Cognitive, we do have Conjurer's Pursuit for both of the supports as well as Regen Master for Zeratul, so we're going to see them trying to rotate through a lot of lanes and picking up as many globes as possible.
Interesting points. I mean, the Brightwing does have a very hefty task that I think we mentioned during the draft that Malfurion may have been more apt to fill. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that healing, but that definitely will be a difficult choice for Brightwing. Right now we do see an engagement, though, potentially happening here in the mid, Gilly.
Yeah, looks like they wanted to maybe pick up Silal, but that Johanna pretty difficult to take out and to slow, as she does have that Iron Skin talent, or hero trait, rather. Brightwing did end up picking up promote, so we do have promote wars happening in the bottom with an added Zeratul here to try to help maybe take out some early structures. This tower is taking a lot of damage and will be able to go down thanks to that Abba hat that we see on Glaurung as well.
We had 0 gems turned in for Zeveron until just a few seconds ago when they actually pulled ahead in gem turn-ins. They now have 26 turned in to the mere 24 of Cognitive. Both teams actually carrying quite a hefty sum as well, though, and both of them looking very capable of very soon making Web Weavers a reality.
Well, Brightwing was taken down in the bottom lane, so a little bit of a boost to EXP for Cognitive. Still a ways to go before the next talent tier, though. And I did want to mention that we do have the Adrenal Overload talent at level 4 for Abathur, so the Abba Hat host will gain 25% increased attack speed. So you can see where this is going. We're going to see that on the Zeratul, who's going to be dealing a ton of damage. We've got a protective shield from Uther. We've got so many shields, of course, from Tassadar too. It's going to be very difficult to take out that Zeratul, who's going to be wrecking that back line.
And you won't even be able to see him coming either. So it's kind of an all roads lead to Zeratul approach for Cognitive right now.
That is definitely the case as well. So they are rounding out almost to those level 7s. They also only need 2 more gems to turn in, and Silal looks to be the one who will be able to turn those in. These toxicness, these mines from Abathur doing such a good job of providing vision and, of course, dealing damage to whoever runs over them too. So that's going to be a continual factor that Zeveron will have to deal with when trying to turn in.
We see that in terms of where the Web Weavers are going to be spawning, it's fairly central in the map at this point. So what that means is that it's not going to be an advantage that was already taken by Cognitive, but probably we will see the lanes overall be pushed a little further toward the Zeveron side of the map, which is going to be a benefit. It's going to give a lot of room to Cognitive to decide what they want to do to start setting the terms of these engagements. Right now, that term is that Fury was caught in between 3, but because of that Dwarf Toss, is able to get to safety very quickly.
Yeah, a huge push here in the mid. Also, it's pretty good in the bottom as well, as it was already pushed out thanks to that Tassadar. And the mid also has the added benefit of those bruisers, which were picked up right when the Web Weavers were spawning as well. So this is going to be a really good push. A lot of times with that first Web Weaver spawn, you're really just looking to pick up some early tower takedowns, opening up those lanes for later pushes, but also getting ahead in the experience, yes. Hoping to maybe even pick up your heroic abilities before your opponents.
Absolutely, and we do see a bit of a lead from Cognitive in terms of experience heading toward level 9, which of course is 1 level away from 10, which is where we will see those heroic abilities begin to happen. So it is going to be the weight of Zeveron to try and make sure that they do everything they can to not let that happen before they get there. They're going to look to turn in, and they're also very close to web weavers. Now the red web weavers will be spawning, and in fact, the push that happened in the lanes did not move the minion waves very far. So again, we're going to see these web weavers spawning very close to the mid lane, and we'll see whether Zeveron is able to do more, less, or just about the same with these web weavers as their opponents did.
Yeah, Zeveron did a really good job of pushing lanes while they were getting those turn-ins as well. So really making sure that they're not just turning in arbitrarily to where they're going to be way far back and allow Cognitive to put a ton of damage on the web weavers before they've even made it to their structures. But aren't taking a lot of damage, gotta watch out, going to be able to blink away. And now we will see Cognitive on the defensive here, but they will have their heroic abilities sooner, and that's gonna help them out with that defense.
Mad Timmy hanging out here in the bottom lane, making sure that that gets pushed out, but able to phase shift in if a team fight does end up happening. Looks like it maybe won't. Zeveron shying away from the hard engage there and just looking for the best opportunities around the map right now.
You know what else isn't gonna happen?
What?
Shadow Assault
Oh, I'm sorry, Gilly.
That's alright.
Not this time.
We do have Ultimate Evolution, which I'm pretty excited about. So Abathur will not be making that monstrosity, which makes a lot of sense because the whole boon of having the monstrosity is having it push in a level that's far away from your opponents. And of course, this is a very small map. It'd be very easy for them to be able to capitalize on that, take it out quickly. But we have an engagement. A great condemn goes into the Void Prison, actually. And what will they be able to do on top of it, though, because the Phoenix is so good at zoning. Tassadar goes down. He had a ton of gems on him, and they're doing such a good job of trying to stop anyone from picking up those gems. Shot maybe the next one to go down. Actually, that is the Abathur clone. My mistake there. It looks like they're just going to leave him alone as it's just an Abathur clone. I think it does provide a little bit of experience if you take it out, but it's not worth it.
It'll go away on its own eventually.
Exactly.
Just like, you know, some sort of rash. If you just ignore it, it'll go away on its own.
Some sort, for sure.
Some sort, yeah. Equinox actually running up toward the mid wall, but Xylol and Iacona were there, and Equinox said, oh, whoops, okay, fine, I'll go look somewhere else. We do have web weavers spawning for Zeveron now, and what do you think they will be able to accomplish with that this time, Gilly?
Well, looking at the lanes, we still have towers completely healthy in mid and bottom, so they may just look to push in one of those lanes wherever they see that Cognitive are not, and most of Cognitive is concentrated toward the top, so I think we'll probably see Zeveron move towards the bottom, and Cognitive will just want to try to take out the web weavers as quickly as possible before rotating. Looks like they might make their stand at mid. They've taken out those towers very, very quickly, and now maybe a rotation will come in. It's a little bit dangerous to try to engage fully into those walls, and they've got bottom completely moved up to the fort. So even if they can distract here, Mad Timmy is here for a second. He's actually phase shifting in. It looks like the stand will be this mid fort.
Shot in Abathur actually was very close to being in danger from that Brightwing, but ended up being fine as she phase shifted away. And it looks like Faye, on Kael'thas will be in big trouble after putting down that Phoenix, which does actually continue to do a lot of great damage. Johanna getting very low, but using her unstoppable trait to be able to run out. Hospital also on the run. Glaurung now behind enemy lines and having to try and get out. Holding 17 gems, which is not an amount you want to lose, but unfortunately it is going to be something he drops on the floor, never to be picked up again, as no teammates are nearby to grab them before they disappear.
Yeah, they started out that fight so great with the double Zeratul taking out the Kael'thas, but after that it just kind of started to fall apart there. They took a ton of damage on all of their heroes. They lost their main damage dealer as well. He's not quite up yet. And with these level 13 advantage, Zeveron feel the heat. They're going to go up and grab the boss really quickly. Just now, Cognitive picking up those same talents. So that's a huge advantage for them. Unfortunately, it is just pushing in towards the fort, so Cognitive have plenty of time to defend it. It's not going to push, in all the way to keep or anything like that.
No, but it definitely is going to take some of their attention, and wherever you can dictate your opponent's attention, you can also take advantages either there or elsewhere on the map. We can see that Zeveron has decided to push alongside the boss with Calthon, Fury, and Mad Timmy. They are going to take down that fort, and it looks like the turret as well. Now all 5 members joining, so we may see a continued push in this top lane.
Yeah, they can deal so much damage to structures very quickly, and they took down that fort with no problem at all. Now Abathur's going to symbiote a tower trying to hold off this boss, but it's so difficult for Cognitive to try to defend versus this boss, especially with such a good Phoenix that is going to zone them. Now Phoenix is over, the boss is getting very, very low. It looks like we will see Cognitive move in here. Shot has decided to ultimate evolution Johanna, so they've got a lot of front line here between the 2 tanks. And it looks like Jaina is going to ice block. It's a perfect ice block there, but they're trying so hard to be able to pick her up while the Void Prison is down. That Void Prison is fantastic. Can they get her? They will grab her right before she goes into the Void Prison. A perfect pickup there, that they did lose their keep.
I think this was a really great move from Zeveron to escort the boss and to choose that as what they were going to commit to on the map. I think it was better than other advantages they could have taken. I think that they may have wanted to disengage a little bit earlier, as we see now 3 members of their team are down. I don't think they had to make those sacrifices. And what it's done is it's allowed Cognitive to now kind of do a little bit of catching up. They are at level 15 as well, so both teams are on track to hit 16 together.
Yeah, and they had the gems needed to be able to turn in. Top lane's kind of a mess, but Abathur is there to try to escort the minions back along. The other lanes, though, look very good for Cognitive because Abathur has been doing a really great job of pushing them constantly. So this is a possibility for them to be able to catch up, maybe even get a little bit ahead depending on where they can make their stand.
Absolutely. Zeveron now going to grab their bruisers, want to make sure that they can keep some pressure in the lanes even when they're not there. There's a lot of blue coming over to their side of the map, so hopefully that red can help balance it out.
I want to note that I really do like the ice block pickups by both Jaina and Brightwing here because they know that one of them might be possibly the target of getting isolated outside of the Void Prison and then being burned down. We saw that Jaina did use it. It just unfortunately did not last long enough before she was able to get to the safety of the Void Prison. So that is a really cool pickup though to see, and it almost did work out. You can easily see it work out in other fights, but now we do have level 16 talents for both teams. We should probably see an engagement here, Anna.
You know, Zeveron looks like they were certainly ready for it. Cognitive backed off a little bit and decided they did not want to engage on even terms. Kind of makes sense, I guess, as we have identified that Zeveron does have these 2 huge burst damage dealers, and Kael'thas, especially at level 16, is pretty scary. So it looks like maybe they want an advantage where the odds are swung a little bit more heavily in their favor.
Yeah, so much damage. Not even just the Ignite from Kael'thas, but also Numbing Blast, so they're going to have some roots. Although Kael'thas goes down, Glaurung finding him, but can he get out here? Burrow Charge in from Equinox, Calthon also going to grab him. The Void Prison stops Calthon, and a Divine Shield. The Wormhole just going crazy here. They're not quite sure what's going on here, but now they've actually turned this. They picked up Jaina. Fury and Equinox are on the run. They're going to try to pick them up, but a good Stormbolt will stop Sylar, who would have been able to pull them in. Glaurung trying so hard to deal damage, goes in with that Rending Cleave. He picked up at 16, dealing some good damage, but now with these 2 hefty damage dealers down, Cognitive is making a stand.
Absolutely. Those takedowns will lend them some experience. Taking down these structures will lend them even more, and now they're about a half level ahead of their opponents. If they want to keep that up, they're going to look for even more kills and even more structures, so we will see that Glaurung is chasing Mad Timmy up here in the top lane. An ice block will keep Mad Timmy safe for just a moment. We'll be able to get away. Looked like we saw some attention turn to the mid lane, but now we may see an engagement here at the top.
Oh, well, here comes Brightwing right back in with that phase shift, and now Iacona is getting caught out. A great Flame Strike will be able to take out that Uther, and now we will see Cognitive back on the run again. Is this enough gems? It is enough gems for a turn-in from Zeveron. They're going to jump right on that.
Absolutely. Now, Web Weavers are just what they need right now to make sure that their lanes get pushed out a little bit, that they have a little room to breathe on this map, and it looks like they're going to count on them to distract their opponents as well as they look to take this boss. Doesn't look like Cognitive is going to wait, though. They are coming in to try to deny.
Yeah, they just can't deal with the Web Weavers and the boss. They have to make something happen right here, and they do. They take out Fate on that Kael'thas, but Johanna is down. Shot is trying so hard to stop somebody. Actually, the Void Prison might not have helped Shot as he was taking a ton of damage there. Now he's down as well, and only Glaurung and Hospital remain in this fight. They are jumping in. They're trying to be able to take somebody out here. A stun going on in Equinox from the boss actually helping them. They really put Zeveron in this corner. Now they're going to jump in, going to deal a ton of damage, take out a new Brock, but Tastar is down. It's only Glaurung left versus 3. He's going to have to let them have this boss. He may lose his life. Ooh, they're back in with the Divine Shield. They've got to get out of here if they have any chance of a defense.
That burrow charge was so gutsy, but there just wasn't any follow-up to it. There you are standing in the middle of a group of people who want to take you down, and there's nothing you can really do about it. So unfortunately for Cognitive, the boss will go to Zeveron, and they will be able to push right in toward the core with it, while only a few members of Cognitive are there to defend.
Yeah, this is going to be huge here. They've got to take out the boss. They've got the Web Weaver down, and it looks like Jaina is getting very, very low there in the mid, but really good movement here, trying to keep her safe so she can throw a ton of damage onto the core. The boss still very healthy. They're trying so hard to pick up Jaina. They will do so, and now any time that they can delay, though, from the boss is exactly what they need. Zeveron will be the champions.
Wow, a fairly quick game, a very convincingly played game, showing off what we know to be true, that heavily bursty damage dealers and dual tank compositions are certainly a force to be reckoned with right now in this meta.
Yeah, they definitely are. You could see exactly what Cognitive were trying to do with that composition, but it was just so difficult for them to try to get into the engagements. They won a couple of them when they were all ready, but they really had to be right on top of their game as they were really relying on that Zeratul.
Really just solid play from Zeveron too. There was never a moment when I saw them falter in terms of what they were deciding to do throughout this entire series. Very just strong communication, confident play, and you could tell a very practiced approach to how they were using their compositions, their team compositions. So I want to give them mad props for their performance in the BRAWLNIGHTER Invitational.
Yes, exactly right. They're going to be walking home this evening, or logging off this evening with a $500 first place prize. Congrats also to our second place team, Cognitive Gaming, who will get the second place $200 prize as well. Once again, guys, these prizes did come from the Blizzard and Twitch Community Stream Awards. We got second for that. We got a lot of prize money from that we were able to put into this prize pool, as well as a prize pool of a Heroes Hype Amateur Series in the past. So we want to thank you guys, because with your voting, with your help, we were able to throw something like this.
Absolutely, and you guys have been so much fun to hang out with in chat. Thank you to all of you who were here joking around with us, playing with us, and receiving cool giveaways. Thank you to Anaklu, who is our admin, Billy, who's been here the whole time, just doling out prizes for your enjoyment and dealing with Nightbot, Moobot, and all the bots that try to ruin our fun.
Yeah, thank you, Billy. Thank you also, Frojo, who was our admin for the event as well. Hoobly, who provided some prizes for you guys. And, of course, to Zeveron, Cognitive, Cal Berkeley, and to ARC, all of our teams who were competing tonight, staying up late to hang out with us, because it's the BRAWLNIGHTER.
Yeah, absolutely. This is something that we had been wanting to do since we actually were involved in the Blizzard Stream Awards, and there's been so much going on for Heroes that there was no time when we could do it other than now. So this has been a labor of love, something we really wanted to do with you, and we would love to hear your feedback about it. You know, what did you think of the format? What did you think of the teams? What did you think of the casting? What did you think of the time? Let us know what you liked and didn't like, so that next time we plan a big event like this, we can make sure to make it even more fun for you.
That's exactly right. You can always get in touch with us on the Misscliks social media. That would be Facebook and Twitter. And, of course, you can follow or sub here on Twitch as well. That's MISSCLIKS. And then you can use the hashtag StormShow to get a hold of us as well.
Absolutely. Guys, I know there's still tons of things to give away, so as long as Anaklu wants to give away things in chat, we will just let him keep going. When he's finished, we may have a few things left over, and in that case, I'll let you know via the Misscliks Twitter what we're going to do with those giveaways. We may give them away on the next Eye on the Storm, we may give them away through Twitter, who knows? So the best thing to do in order to, like Gilly said, stay in touch and learn about those things is to make sure that you are following Misscliks, MISSCLIKS on Twitter, as well as Gilly and myself.
Yes, very much so. You can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube at Gillyweed SC2. I stream most weekdays at 3 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing that tomorrow as well. And then, of course, we do casting things. I am involved with lots of other shows as well. So the best way to figure out what I'm doing is on my Twitter. I always make sure to tweet there, Gillyweed SC2.
You can find me at AnnaProsser on pretty much everything. Twitter is probably the most up-to-date and to-the-minute way to stay in touch with me. AnnaProsser.com has links to just about everything else that I do, so you can find me in other places there. I, just like Gilly, stream just about every day, but it's on multiple different channels, so stay in touch again via Twitter to find out those things. And just in case this is your first time visiting Misscliks or this particular show, Eye on the Storm, our Heroes of the Storm talk show, does happen every Thursday at 7:15 p.m. Pacific. You can join us on this channel to talk about the Heroes community, about strategy, and to talk to guests from the community, which are usually pro gamers or developers or team managers or streamers, so we have a great time with them. And also, Misscliks at Large is a community that's built around supporting and uplifting and providing resources for female role models in geeky gaming culture. We have some other shows that are just coming up, and we also have a very well-loved D&D show, Dungeons & Dragons, that happens on Tuesdays. So we hope that you will also follow and stay in touch with Misscliks and hang out with us here.
Yes, exactly right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. I do believe that is it. Correct, Anna?
That is it, and I am sad to say it because this has been a great time, but we will see you again here soon, guys.
Yes, we will. Thanks for hanging out with us. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Bye.